Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the virtual workshop that we're doing here today. We appreciate you guys gathering together. We know there's a lot of people who have gotten together in groups and maybe have some goodies to enjoy in a little bit, but we appreciate you getting together. I know that this is a diverse group of people made up of distributors, customers, maybe people who are just learning about this for the very first time. Either way, we're extremely happy that you're together and that you're going to get this information, and I get to be the one to share it with you because we're going to start today's training with kind of an explanation of what we have here at LifeVantage as far as the products go and as far as the opportunity goes. So I'm going to get right into that, and I'm going to start by kind of giving you a little bit of a background on myself and my story. My name is Lynette Cunningham. I've been with LifeVantage for close to 10 years now. I cannot even believe that time has gone by that quickly. But my husband and I got involved with LifeVantage. It's kind of like any other story you hear. We were introduced to this company and these products by a relative. She's based out of Texas. We're out of Florida. And she called and she asked me to take a look at this. And it came at a time in our lives where we were running many of our own businesses, in fact, 5 corporations we had, and they were related to investment real estate and interior restoration of automobiles. So nothing like this. In fact, we had never done network marketing before, but she asked me to take a look. And to be completely honest, I looked at it simply because I respect her. I love her. I appreciate her. And she asked me to look, so I was like, okay, I'll look. My initial thoughts is, I think this is network marketing. I want nothing to do with that. And I say now, it really boiled down to the fact that I was uninformed as to what this profession had to offer. And I'm so thankful that I respected her on the level that I did and was willing to just listen. Because what I heard was intriguing to me. So, I learned a little bit about the flagship product, and I mean a little bit, but enough to go, maybe I need to know more. But my husband and I ran all of our businesses together, so I wanted him to know more with me. And so I told him, listen, your cousin asked us to take a look at this. When is going to be a good time? She wants us to talk to somebody to learn more. And he just kind of blew it off a little bit. And I have to give you a little bit of background on what was going on with him and his life and his daily ins and outs, because it was playing into why he was putting it off. So basically, this was 2009. So in 2009, the economy was not very good. And our businesses had been affected. Our real estate had been hit pretty hard. Our day-to-day business, the interior restoration of automobiles, Brandon was still doing a really good job of bringing in the same amount of money as he was previously, but it was taking a lot more effort. It was taking more time. He was working longer hours. He was driving to further locations, and he wasn't happy about it. In fact, he was pretty miserable about it. And I remember specifically one day him coming home and saying, but coming home, and it was late, and I said to him, hey, when do you want me to tell your cousin that we'll talk to that person and learn more about LifeVantage? And he got a little irritated with me, and I guess I can't blame him. I mean, it was bad timing on my part, but he said, Lynette, what do you want from me? What more can I give? You see what time I'm coming home. You see what time I'm leaving. I don't have time. What more can I give? And I said, well, Brandon, if you don't change anything, what's going to change? And he stopped and he thought, and he said, fine, I'll talk to him. And that's where everything changed for us, because I set up a call to learn more about LifeVantage. And what we learned was enough for us to say, okay, we should probably do something with this. And to give you a little bit more insight on my story, I lost my father when he was 51 years old in a car accident. And it left my mother in a position of, she had been a housewife, stay-at-home mom her whole life. And it left her in a position of having to try to figure out how she was going to provide for herself and my brother. And when you've not had a strong job history and experience, you're kind of left not really knowing what to do. So my mom was able to get a couple cleaning accounts to provide for herself. But it made me think about the fact that, my situation wasn't a whole lot different. My father was a general contractor. He provided very well for our family. And Brandon was providing very well for our family. And we were running our businesses together. But the reality is that if Brandon wasn't out doing his part, I couldn't do my part, because my part was the books. And so I realized that my position wouldn't be a whole lot different than my mom's. And I didn't want to have to go through that. And so LifeVantage appeared to us to be a way to potentially resolve the issue of Brandon hating what he was doing. And when you're self-employed and making good money, your hands are really kind of tied. And that's what he was feeling. And he thought this might be a way to get him out of that. For me, I thought, well, this is something I can do. And if something awful happened again to my family, then we'd be set up differently, because this type of a business generates a leveraged income, meaning you do work once, but you get paid on it multiple times. So when life slaps you in the face, you have the potential to still have money coming in. And that was desirable to us. So although we were scared, although we'd never done it before, although we were skeptical, something told us that this could be big. And it really centered around our flagship product, Protandim Nerve 2, because it was kind of like a new technology. And you guys are familiar with new technologies. Think about Facebook and Amazon and WhatsApp, and there's many. But you think about those that are new technologies, and you look back 10, 15 years and you ask yourself, was I using any of those things? Most people would say no. But when you ask people today, are you using those things? Most everyone says yes. So I recognized that Protandim Nerve 2 was a new technology that people would be interested in. And I thought about the fact of what that could do for us financially, because with real estate, I knew it's all about location. But when you've got something that's like a new technology, it's all about timing, like beating the masses to something big. So we said, okay, let's learn some more about this, because what I learned was all new to me. I had never heard of oxidative stress, and I was told that Protandim lowers oxidative stress an average of 40% in 30 days. Well, that sounds good, but if you don't know what oxidative stress is, it's not real meaningful. So it was explained to me, well, an analogy was given to me, and I could visualize this, right? If you think about an apple and you cut open an apple, what happens in just a couple hours' time? You start to see it brown, right? Like you can visually see it. You are visually seeing the oxidative stress to that apple. Well, the same thing happens to us on a cellular level. As we breathe and eat and live, we incur oxidative stress to our bodies. So here's the thing. I knew I was supposed to take antioxidants, didn't know why. The reason I learned is that antioxidant, tongue twister. Antioxidants wipe out free radicals. Free radicals lead to oxidative stress. Oxidative stress leads to virtually any disease state that you can think of. So the thing about antioxidants is they work on a 1-to-1 ratio. So our bodies produce millions of free radicals on a daily basis. When you take a supplement and it's working on a 1-to-1 ratio, you can only ingest so many supplements of antioxidants before your body just disposes of it. It can only take in so much of that supplement. So you're really not putting a big dent on your oxidative stress levels, right? Because you're not knocking out enough free radicals. It's kind of like if you can imagine a raging house fire and someone comes along and they've got a cup of water. It's all they've got, right? Well, they throw that cup of water on the fire. Could they say that they helped that fire? Yeah. But in the grand scheme of things, how effective were they? Not very effective, right? Because it was just a cup of water. Well, that cup of water is kind of like antioxidants. And yet people were spending and are spending billions and billions of dollars on antioxidants because it's all that they know. It's all that they have. A cup of water, that's all they've got. Or so they think, right? That's where our job comes in, to tell them otherwise. The way that Protandim works is on a 1 to 1 million basis, because it's not supplementing your body. It's getting your body to produce its own antioxidant enzymes. It's kind of like this room, right? There's wires that go through the wall, but until I walk in and turn the light switch on, this room stays dark. Our bodies are the same way. Our bodies have the ability to produce their own antioxidant enzymes. But as we age, that production decreases. Protandim is kind of like the light switch to our body. It gets our body to start producing those antioxidant enzymes on a normal scale, like when we were young, thus lowering oxidative stress levels an average of 40% in 30 days. And that's a study that has been done and is on PubMed.gov. That was mind-blowing to me. Now, for me, I'm sharing kind of my personal story. For me, the other thing that was big was, at the time, 10 years ago, there were 3 studies, okay? Now there's over 20, by the way, but there were 3 at the time. One of them was done by LSU in regards to skin cancer. My husband had skin cancer cut out of his face. So I was like, okay, this product is made up of 5 plants. You are taking this forever based on what I just read in LSU study, right? And I don't know a lot of medical lingo, but I could understand a couple of the sentences in that study. And I was like, okay, you're taking this. So what happened over the years is many universities started studying the effectiveness of Protandim with whatever disease states that a lot of them kind of focused their attention on. And the results have been outstanding. So those studies are right at PubMed.gov. But what I'd like to do at this time is share a video with you that just kind of gives you a little bit of an overview, or a more extensive overview of Protandim Nrf2. And then from there, I'm going to tell you more about the business. So hang tight with me and join me in watching this.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock? It sounds too good to be true.
Free radicals are a natural result of your body's metabolic processes. Under normal circumstances, your body also produces antioxidants, which neutralize free radicals and limit the damage they can do to your cells. It's a bit like having a factory in your cells that produces enough antioxidants to keep the free radicals under control. But exposure to X-rays, ozone, cigarette smoke, inflammation, air pollution, industrial chemicals, and even exercise can overwhelm the body's natural responses to free radicals, allowing them to wreak havoc on your cells and your health. Over time, the damage to your cells and DNA turns off power in the cell's factory, reducing our ability to create antioxidants and leaving us vulnerable to premature aging and health concerns. Fortunately, science has given us the ability to turn power back on. One recent peer-reviewed study from Washington State University calls NRF2 activation one of the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative breakthroughs in the history of medicine.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock with just a few pills? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. As I found out firsthand, there may be a way to erase years, at least inside my body. Granted, it's down the road, but some scientists are wondering if a new pill I took might offer a very long life. It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment, a kind of guinea pig.
Dr. McCord, okay.
I'm here at the University of Colorado in Denver to meet Dr. Joe McCord, a world-renowned scientist.
This is a pretty exciting stuff you're finding, huh?
It is. We're very excited about it.
His latest research could very well unravel the mystery of aging itself. And as decades of experiments may have the potential of adding years to people's lives and possibly prevent chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. It all centers around this small yellow pill, and for me, it begins with a blood test.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company.
Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing.
Bad for the body,
Leading to disease.
and leading to malfunction, and importantly, leading to what we call aging. It is a slow progression of increasing oxidative stress. That's the main characteristic biochemically of the aging process.
It's called Protandim, and tests on both mice and humans have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age. But in Dr. McCord's tests, taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old. But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. Dr. McCord calculates the numbers. The result? My level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically.
45%. That's excellent.
Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after.
Which, if extrapolated back, is the level you would see in a newborn baby.
Have we turned back the clock? Well, maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed. High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
It's at the very center of many diseases. Liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma. I've studied all of these, strokes, heart attacks, even mental disease. Yes, depression, Alzheimer's disease, depression. I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old and find out that I should have taken it.
Well, can you see why I was fired up by that information? Can you see why I wanted to move on taking this product and sharing this with people? Anyone who is breathing can benefit from this product. All of us are incurring oxidative stress on a daily basis. I'm like trying to run from that little light that's going across my face. Anyway, I was like, this is going to be big, and I don't want to miss out on something big. I felt like this is a product that not only was I going to take, I wanted my husband to take it, I wanted my mom to take it, my sister, my brother. And as I started doing that in my head, I was like, well, I want everybody I know to take this and benefit from this. So why would I not be the one to share it? I mean, when I go to an amazing movie, I tell my friends about it. I think they'd enjoy it too. When I go to an amazing restaurant, I tell people about it. I know that they'll enjoy it. This is the exact same thing. The difference is this can improve their health long term. And it is a way for me to generate an income for my household. So I'm going to tell them about it anyway. I may as well take advantage of the business side of it. That was my mindset. The beautiful thing is that this company has taken the science of Protandim Nerve 2 and formulated other products as well. Amazing, amazing products. One of the things about Protandim Nerve 2 is we really can't see with our eyes what's happening on a cellular level while Protandim Nerve 2 is working inside of us, right? Just like when a person goes to the doctor says, hey, you've got high blood pressure. Take this drug. They take the drug. They go back to the doctor. The doctor's like, hey, your blood pressure is better. They don't always feel that, right? But the blood work shows that it's improved. Same thing with Protandim Nerve 2. But we've got other products that you visually can see a difference. They formulated a skincare line based on the ingredients of Protandim Nerve 2, and people are seeing amazing visual results. People with all different skin conditions can see the improvement. I have my own personal story. I had a serious skin eczema or allergy or whatever you'd want to call it, but it required me getting a steroid ointment from the doctor because every winter my finger would split open and I'd have to put this ointment on it. And one winter I remember going and telling the dermatologist, hey, listen, there's a big dent in my nail. Like, do you see that? Why did that happen? And he's like, oh, well, did you use that ointment for more than 7 days? I'm like, well, yeah, my finger was split open. Oh, yeah, you can't do that. I'm like, for real? So now I use Nerve 2 technology. I use true science. And you know the reality? My finger hasn't split open like that in years because I'm biohacking my body with all of these amazing products. We're using nutrigenomics, which, you know what? Everybody today is doing that on some level. They may not understand that terminology yet. They don't understand that nutrigenomics is basically just using like plants to help improve our genes. A lot of people are doing that. They take herbs, they take all of these different things. They just may not be familiar with that word, but we're heading it up. We are taking the bull by the horns because we know how effective that can be. So I mentioned the skincare line that was formulated, right? Well, they also have a version for pets, Protandim. My dog, amazing results with Protandim. The Physique line is for weight management. The Axial line is for energy and mental clarity. You guys, these products are absolutely mind-blowing, and I love representing them. So as I looked at this, I was able to go, yes, this is something that I can do. This is a product I can get behind. That was kind of my first check on the list of things as to whether or not this made sense for me to do. The next thing I needed to know is, well, what about the company? Is this a company that I'd feel comfortable having my name attached to? Well, when I learned that they were publicly traded on the NASDAQ nonetheless, that really gave me a backbone because my biggest fear was that this was like a fly-by-night company. Now, mind you, that was 10 years ago. The company's, numbers and results speak for themselves now, but that made me feel better. Knowing that they were publicly traded, I'm like, okay, they're under the same scrutiny as other really big companies. I also got to meet some of the corporate staff at our corporate training. And the first one I went to, that was kind of my motive. I went wanting to know, who am I getting myself involved with? And I couldn't have been happier when I heard from some of those people and learned of their experience in this profession. So that was something else I was able to kind of check off on my list. Yes, this is a company I'm good with being partnered with. The other thing I need to know is there like a system in place? You know, is it because I've never done this before? Is this something I can do? And the reality is anybody can do this, which is why it excites me to share it with people, because I know the success that I've received here or built here at LifeVantage, anyone can do. I didn't bring anything special to the table. I simply plugged into the system. In fact, I imitated a lot of exactly what Brandon's cousin did with me. She reached out to me. She invited me to look at a tool. It was a video. I looked at the tool. She then followed up with connecting me with the team. She put us on a 3-way call with somebody who knew more about this than she did. She was brand new. So she invited me to a tool, connected me to the team. I became a distributor. And that's how we build this business. We share the information with people in that way. That's something anyone can do. You know, you think about like franchises, like a McDonald's franchise. When somebody gets involved with McDonald's or buys a McDonald's franchise, they don't go out and reinvent the way that McDonald's does things. There's a system in place, right? And if you want the success, you simply plug into the system and do what the leaders have done. You follow that lead. I was like, okay, if someone else is doing it, I can do it. So that was able to be checked off of my list. Another thing I needed to know is, what are the trends telling me? Is this something people will feel the same way about as I do? Well, again, billions of dollars being spent on antioxidants on a yearly basis. So obviously people are interested in their health, and honestly, more so today than ever. Wouldn't you agree? Don't you see people, you know, taking the initiative to take better care of themselves, trying to buy organic foods and take different supplementation? And I mean, it's exactly where people's minds are, because they're starting to recognize how important that is to our health, right? Instead of being reactive, being proactive, preventing instead of trying to deal with the result of not preventing, right? And so again, I'm like, okay, this is something else I can check off my list. The last thing I needed to know really was what's the compensation on this? Because I'm not going to waste my time getting involved. I don't need anything else to do. Brandon and I were incredibly busy. Not only were we running those 5 businesses, my kids were 2 and 4. So busy people. We didn't have extra time just to do a hobby. And so I needed to know what I was going to get out of this. So let me just tell you, this is the example that was shared with me. And what it does in my mind is it paints the vision or the power of leveraged income. So essentially the example that was given to me is, Lynette, if you enrolled 5 distributors, okay, do you know 5 people who are interested in improving their health, who are interested in making some extra money, maybe making more money this year than they did last year? I'm like, yeah, I know 5 people like that. Okay, so if you enroll 5 distributors and each of those 5 people have $200 in product ordered on a monthly basis, and the reason it's 200, you guys, is because 200 maximizes the compensation plan that allows you to reach all of the bonuses that the company offers. The beautiful thing is that $200, that's made up of your personal order. You taking Protandim Nerve 2, maybe you like the skincare line or the Axio, the Energy, or whatever it is, whatever products you're going to consume on a monthly basis, and any customers that start taking this product because you shared it with them. That also is part of the $200 that I'm referring to, or 200 points, I should say, that I'm referring to. So when you have 5 people who have 200 points in volume, you're going to make $20 a month, every month. I'm like, so what? What is that going to get me? A trip to Starbucks with my kids? That's not a big deal. I get it. But here's where the power of leverage comes in. If those 5 people duplicate your behavior and they enroll 5 people on 200 points, you now have 25 people. Your check is $250 a month plus the 20. So as I'm painting this, kind of think about it in lines, right? You've got 5 people, 200 points, you get $20. And I'm doing this backwards for you, I guess. Sorry. Those 5 people get 5. Now you've got 25, one level below. 25 with 200 points, you get $250 a month plus the 20. Let's go one more level of duplication. Those 25 people get 5 people. You now have 125 people ordering 200 points in product a month. Your check is $2,250 plus the $250 plus the 20. That's $30,000 a year. Okay, that's worthy of attention, right? I'm going to go one more level. Our compensation plan, we call it the unilevel payout. It pays out 9 levels. I'm going to go to the 4th level at this point. On your 4th level, in simple, you're using the number 5 because it's simple and it's easy to duplicate in our minds and for the sake of example. So say you have 125 people now on your 3rd level who duplicate, get 5 people. You have 625 people, 200 points. That's $6,250 a month plus the $2,250 plus the $250 plus the $220. That's about $100,000 a year, you guys. Now, that makes a huge difference in most people's lives. That potentially can bring one of the 2 people working in a household home. That potentially can allow the main breadwinner of the household to say, I think that I could commit to this full time, right? And so the reality is it is worthy of attention, especially because all you did was bring in 5 people in that example. Do you understand the power of leverage? That's huge. And that check comes month after month after month after month every time those products ship to those people. So when and if life slaps you in the face, that check's coming no matter what. That's a big deal. That was the reason that I wanted to do this, and I wanted to do it whole souled. So let me show you one other thing. Let me see if I can share my screen with you one more time, because I'd like for you to see the average, the earnings claim statement, where it shows the monthly average income of distributors at LifeVantage. And what I'd like for you to do is look in that column where it says monthly average and go down that list of numbers. And you tell me, or the person, I guess, that shared this with you, what rank you get your attention caught. Like when you see those numbers there, like you look at those middle ranks, 4, 5, 6, making $2,500 a month, $5,800 a month. Would that make a difference to you? Is that worth your time? You decide. You decide what you want out of this, right? You get out of it what you put into it. But the person who shared this with you can help you strategize how you go about doing that in accordance with your needs. It's a publicly traded company, you guys. These numbers are factual. I know that some of them, as you go down the list, don't seem possible, but I can assure you they are. And they're changing lives. And it fires me up to know that you have the ability to have exactly that. I lost my cursor here. Okay. So back to business. Here's something I want you to think about. Okay, now I didn't talk about the different kits that are available for getting involved. There's a silver, a gold, a platinum pack. The size of the pack is indicative of the amount of products that come in it. The price is reflective of the amount of products that come in it. I'll just tell you, my husband and I came in on the platinum pack. We used those products to start building our business, to start building our story, to start sharing the products. it is a business, right? Any business has overhead. All of our businesses have had extreme overhead, especially in comparison to this. So that's what we did. We got started with our Platinum Pack and we started building this business, sharing the products. Now, let the person who invited you to this give you the details on all of that. But I want you to go back to think about something, because we talked about the significance of beating the masses to something, right? The timing of this. Think about Amazon. Think about Facebook. Wouldn't you kind of wager to say that when those companies were just starting up, right, when they were getting going, wouldn't you say that they probably went to people in their circle of friends and family and said, listen, this is the vision. This is where I see this company going. Do you want to get in on it? Do you want to be a part of experiencing the growth of it with me? What do you think? Do you think every single person said yes? Do you think there were some who were like, you know, I just don't have the time. I don't have the money. I'm just not so sure. I don't know. I'd say they were, I mean, I can't imagine that every one of them said yes, right? Well, for those people that didn't, what do you think their thoughts are today? You think they want a do-over? You think they'd like to go back? And if they could, would they find the money? Would they find the time? Would they see the vision? I'd say yes. Knowing what they know now, I'd say yes. So you've just learned about a new technology. It's changing lives, and it's still very, very early. So I invite you to join us. I don't want you to live with the regrets that some of those people may be experiencing today who didn't say yes to a new technology and what it's become. So here's the deal. If it makes sense, if you want to start benefiting from the products and the person who shared this with you, get them to get you the link so you can start taking the products and benefit. And if you see the vision the way that we see the vision, then get an ID number. Let the company know where to send the next check to, right? And don't leave today without the link to crazyyellowpill.com so that you can start sharing the story, right? The tool. And then invite them Monday night. There's a webinar that our team does every Monday night. Invite them to the webinar so you can start enrolling people right away without even having to know all of the things that I've shared with you today. Just use the system that's in place for you. So at this point, you guys, in the workshop, what I'm going to say is, if you'd like to pause it here, you can. That will allow those brand new people in the room to go ahead and get their ID numbers assigned, maybe take a bathroom break, do whatever you need. And then we're going to go straight into how we're going to build this business, how we're going to start creating a leveraged income for you. So pause here if you'd like. If not, let's go. Let's talk about how we're going to do this. So I already kind of gave you a sneak peek, right? I talked to you in the presentation about ITT, Invite Tool Team. Do it. We do it every day, okay? So it's really a matter of, a lot of times people get involved and they're like, man, what do I need to know? I feel like I need to read all of the studies before I can share this with anybody. I feel like I need to memorize the compensation plan before I can share this with anybody. They get all hung up on details. You guys, none of that's necessary. In fact, the newer you are, the easier it is to do this business effectively. And I'll expand on that a little bit. Let me get a drink here. I'll expand on that a little bit in a minute. But first, what I want you to realize is that people don't really remember everything that you say. They don't remember the details. They don't retain the numbers enough or the words enough to know if you've made a little error in you sharing this for the first time. It's okay. What they do remember is how you made them feel about the information. So if you're learning this and you're fired up at what this is going to do and allow your family to do, share it, because what they will get from your message is your excitement, your passion. So here's how you're going to do it. There's a bazillion different ways to invite people to this information. And I've got some notes here. In fact, I'm missing some of my notes. So probably I'm at Brandon's desk. Excuse me, hold on. It was still on my desk. So super cool thing, you guys. You may or may not already, excuse me, already be aware of teamtrueblue.org. But that website we created to really try to help everybody have resources at their disposal at all times. So on that website, you'll find tools. And one of the tools is scripts. So if you're one of those people who are I don't know what to say. I can't find the right words. Go look at over some of the ideas on the scripts page to give you a feel for some things that you can say. But ultimately, think about this. When you're talking to people, the most effective thing you can do is cover 4 areas in your invite. Now, some invites have to be briefer, shorter, you make it how you want to make it. But you want to talk about what you're currently doing, right? You want to talk about what you dislike about what you're doing. And where am I at in my little notes here? Okay. What you do, what you don't like about it, what you're excited about, and what you're going to do with the information that you're excited about. So that can look a couple different ways. Maybe it's like, listen, Brandon and I have been running our own business for a while now. We, do the interior restoration of automobiles, and it's provided great for our family. But Brandon's really come to hate having to show up on car lots and deal with the summer heat and deal with, maybe management that's not necessarily always paying, the frustrations that come with that. And we found something that we're really excited about that we think might be able to get him out of that situation. So we're going to go and make the most of it. And we'd love for you to hear about it because it may be something you'd be interested in it as well. So you can adjust that to your liking, to your story. But think about some of these other invites, you guys. I found an exciting business, and together I think we can make something big. Brandon's cousin kind of reached out to me in that way. She was like, listen, I don't know, but I think that this might be big. You need to take a look at it. That's pretty simple, right? It was enough for me to go, okay, I'll look. And then she let the tools and the team work for her. Brandon used to use this one all the time. I just partnered with a publicly traded company that many people have never heard of. And I'm so excited. I'd love to tell you more about it. Do you have 15 minutes now, or would later be better? And you guys, I love doing that because here's the thing. Everybody's lives are so busy that if you give them a choice of 2 times, they'll usually pick one, or they'll suggest one that will work. But if it's an open-ended invite, hey, I'd like to get you some information. Okay, yeah, we'll have to get together on that. And then it's like, you can't really pin them down, right? It's important that you kind of can stay in control of what's happening. This is your business. So when you invite somebody to the information, figure out when you can have their attention. Let's see if I have another one here. I don't have one written here, but I'll tell you this. I printed a couple of the sheets off of the website. There's a ton of ideas. So if you don't like one of the ones that I shared with you, go look. Maybe ask some people in the room. That's the value in getting together in a group setting, is that you can learn from each other. So if you don't like any of those, figure out what works for you. The worst thing you can do is get a script and sound like a robotic script reader. Hi, I'm calling because... Don't do that. It's your friends. They know you. They can see through you. One of the invites in the scripts I read somewhere was, Listen, I'm really excited and really nervous, but I want you to know more about this. When can we get together? Later today, or is tomorrow better? Pin down a time and speak authentically. Our friends know us too well. And if we start getting weird on them, they're going to get weird on us. So just know that, right? And all you're doing is inviting them to a tool. So the tool that we use is crazyyellowpill.com. And the reason that that tool is so effective, and actually I should say the other side of that is crazyyellowpill.com/science. And the reason we did that, these products are so amazing. A lot of times doctors are very, very interested in these products. And maybe if we are at our annual appointment and we want to share this information with the doctor, to really kind of get their buy-in first on the product, not necessarily wanting to introduce them to the opportunity, then when you do the /science, it just tells them about the science. Now, it's housed in the same page as the opportunity information. So if they start searching the site and go home, they'll find it on their own, but then it's on them, right? That's perfect. If they simply look at the science page, it is all science on Protandim. So just know that that's kind of another tool, but all housed within the one tool. Now, the beautiful thing about crazyyellowpill.com is it kind of fills in the gaps for us. I don't know what's wrong with me. What can I say? Forgive me. I apologize. It fills in the gaps because a lot of times people are like, okay, well, I can tell you I had that experience. When I watched the initial video that was shown to me, it was just the ABC primetime piece. And so I kind of was like, what? Like, okay, now what? Do you want me to buy it? You want me to sell it? What do you want from me? This video fills in those gaps. Not only that, it provokes emotion. And you remember, I told you earlier, people don't necessarily remember what you say. They remember how you made them feel about what you say. And so these videos that are in crazyyellowpill.com, people can typically relate to on some level, right? And it evokes emotion. And then it can potentially lead them down the road of wanting to know more, because you guys, ultimately, anybody and everybody wants what we have. Not everybody has the vision. Not everybody has the confidence in themselves. Not everybody is at the right time in their life for. Also, maybe they're not letting their wall down enough to just hear the information. We're all such natural skeptics, and it's just the world that we live in. But our goal is to let them put the wall down enough to hear the information. You see, for me, my wall came down enough because it was Brandon's cousin, who I adore and respect. Had it been my next door neighbor, it probably wouldn't have come down because we didn't have that type relationship. This video, if they get to the point of watching the video, the emotional connection starts to really lower that wall. That's why part of the effectiveness in an invite is when you're able to share, listen, you know, this is what I do. This is why it's not working. That's usually the piece that people don't know and are too prideful to share. That vulnerability will sometimes allow your friend to go, okay, I'll listen more. Okay, so it's crazy how our psyche works on things, but just know that that is an effective way to share the information because of the way that our brains work, okay? So crazyyellowpill.com, incredible, incredible tool. If you have not yet been on that site, go poke around because it's not just that one video. There's a lot of information there. And if you're going to go start sharing this with people, you need to know what's there, right? So the other thing that we're going to talk about is the last piece of the ITT, and that's team, right? Why do we need to connect people to the team? We have the ability to tell them, right? I mean, especially for me, I've been doing this almost 10 years. Why in the world would I connect somebody to the team when I can tell them everything there is to know about LifeVantage? Well, the reason is that if they say yes, they cannot duplicate my behavior. And everything in this business is about duplication. You remember I said that when I started this business, I started doing it the same way that our cousin did it with us? Duplication. Like we do it robotically without even thinking about it. So it's important that we follow the system so that other people can do it. Let me give you an example. I a lot of times would sit down and have coffee, and I would kind of serve as the third-party validation for someone. So let's just say person A invites their contact to the meeting, and I'm the person that they invite along to share kind of as a third-party information, right? So we go to the coffee appointment. Person A invites their friend and me and says, hey, I'm bringing someone along to help explain it. We sit down for coffee. Person A introduces me to the contact, and then I start educating the person a little bit, kind of the same way we did at the beginning of this workshop today. And then at the end, they're like, well, yeah, it sounds good, but I can't do what you did. Because all they can think about is all the different numbers and words that you just threw at them, right? But I have the ability to say, well, can you do what your friend person A did? Because all person A did was invite you to have coffee. And I shared the information. And they're like, yep, I can do that, right? It's a duplicable system. The other thing about using the team is it gives credibility, it gives validation. For some reason, I told you the human psyche is kind of weird, the way that our brain works. If a friend tells us something, we're questioning, what do they want? They want me to buy this from them. What do they want from me? But if somebody else gets involved, they just listen to the information, right? They're not as guarded for some reason, I guess because they have no emotional attachment to that person. But I'm going to give you an example, okay? If I go to the store and, well, I'll tell you what, how about this? You've got a friend who comes to you and says, I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. I've got a couple different examples going. We're going to start like this. I'm telling you, hey, my kids are the best behaved children you're ever going to meet. They're respectful. They use their manners. I mean, we have trained them in a way that they are good kids. In your mind, you're going, of course you're going to say that. You're their mom and obviously prideful. But if I'm not a part of that conversation at all, if I'm, across the room and somebody comes up and nudges you, have you ever met Lynette's kids? They are good kids. They're respectful. They use their manners. Doesn't that have a different level of credibility than when you heard it straight from me? I know it does, because we all work the same way. So when we are going to someone and sharing this information, a lot of times they may wonder, are you just saying this because you're like trying to get me to take it, or you're trying to get me to share it with other people? Like they start questioning your motive instead of just hearing the information. All of a sudden, and a stranger gets involved and they just listen to the information. It's so crazy, but it's how it works. So when you share this with a friend, the best thing you can do is quickly get in and out of the conversation. This is what I'm wanting you to look at. Let's set a time to do that. And then you get them the information. Because the second you start answering questions, it's almost like a slippery slope that you can't regain traction on. Because one question becomes two questions, become three questions. And within just a short period of time, they make a decision. And the reality is it's usually not a good decision because they didn't get enough information, right? A little bit of a story has to be told here. And it can't be done by answering 4 or 5 questions. So don't go down that road. Use the system, connect people to the tool and the team, and let it do the work for you. I told you every Monday night's a webinar We do, each of us have different methods for connecting to the team. But there's webinars, there's Facebook Lives that you can invite people to, a private Facebook Live. You can have an in-home presentation. Those are so effective because you can feel the emotion of people when you're in the same room. I'm hoping that you're gathered in a room right now and that you can understand what I'm talking about, the effectiveness. It's kind of called social proof when you're able to be in a setting like that. So there's different ways to allow that third-party validation to happen, but follow those steps because that's the system, you guys, and that's how Brandon and I have had the success that we've had in building our business, and that's how so many other people have had the success that they've had because it's a system that anyone can follow. So I'm going to stop the training on the ITT here, and then I'm going to invite my husband to go ahead and share some more with you. So thank you for letting me be a part of this with you today, and we'll bring up Brandon now.
All right. So we are now, let's see, record with some audio. We're good. All right. You should be good. Let me check the sound one more time. Thank you so much, Lynette. It is a little tricky here, right? So I'm sitting in the exact chair Lynette was sitting in just a little bit ago. I am Brandon Cunningham, and looks like our sound is good. I was getting a message maybe that the sound wasn't good. I think what Lynette just did was amazing for you that are watching this training right now, because what she just gave you was really the basics for how we got our business launched. And she showed you an opportunity meeting, telling her story, the company story, and how you make money, right? With actually a call to action at the end. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. Our system, Do It, I heard her say that, ITT, it's it with 2 T's, is what creates for you, those that join this for the business, it's what creates that residual income that you're looking for, where you have a system in place that's working when you don't necessarily want to be working. There's going to come a time in your life where you would rather not be working, and you only have 2 choices at that point. Have a lot of money working for you, so money's coming in while you're not working, or have a system working for you. And that's exactly what we have at LifeVantage in that system. So I'm glad she was able to share that. I'm going to reference our checklist a little bit. It is at teamtrueblue.org under the Get Started button, the tab, call it what you want. And if you're not familiar with the checklist, here's what I'm going to tell you. Today, go to teamtrueblue.org and print out your checklist, please, because whether you're brand new or you've been with us for a little bit, it's so important that you start the process the right way. And there's so many things that we are able to cover in just a 2-page document. It's really just 8 steps, if I remember my math here, maybe 9, that will help you answer a lot of questions you may have, but also avoid some things that you don't want to have happen. Like, we've had people that have enrolled people and they didn't get paid. Well, why didn't they get paid? Well, it was because they didn't have their subscriptions in place to be eligible for commissions. And so we discussed that in our checklist. In fact, it's number 2 on the checklist, making sure you get paid. I'm just going to key in on a couple things, getting organized and getting launched tonight or today off of the checklist. And so getting organized, when you look at that on our checklist, it's asking you to make a list of people. And the initial list is 20 names and not to prejudge. Well, I'll tell you that when we signed up, one of the things I thought was like, how am I going to do this business? How am I going to be successful in this business? Because I don't know that many people. And months later, we had a nice residual income. And as you guys may know, we're master distributors in the company. And so we knew a lot of people. What we were thinking is, I don't know a lot of people that will listen, or I don't know a lot of people who would do this. And that's the worst thing you can do. For all of you that are new to us, maybe watching this, maybe it's only your first or second workshop, don't prejudge, because if you look at our circumstance, I heard Lynette tell our story. We were making money, but money was not what motivated us to do this. It was control of our calendar and our time. And so thankfully we got that phone call, and I want you to not prejudge. I want everyone to go on the list, and I want the invite. I want you to be so enthusiastic about what you have to offer that everybody you know should take Protandim. I'm just telling you, everybody you know, unless they're like infants, should be taking Protandim. It's a product that's healthy for everyone. It improves cellular health. And let's face it, we live in a world where our environment, even if you try to do a good job with your diet, nutrition, it's very difficult to protect yourself from all of the bad stuff that's out there. And so Protandim kind of gives us that benefit. So when you're making this list, don't prejudge. Start out with 20. Work up to 200 names as fast as you can. And I'm going to tell you that, initially on this list, when you fill out this checklist, just put 20 names on, the backs of these pages, 20 names to start with. And the next thing is getting launched. And so if you've just enrolled a new distributor, one of the best things that you can do is help them get launched. You can start with those 20 names and sitting and making some phone calls to just 5 people. And in today's world, if you call 5 people, you might get 4 voicemails. Okay, you might get one person, you might get mom, you might get your sister. And this is where the business of what we do may be a little bit fearful for the new person, because they just don't want their friends to think they're selling things, and they don't want their friends to think they're weird or odd, and we don't want that either. And that's why we want to do the phone calls with you, assisting you through that process, helping you with the invite, where we can say, well, okay, that was great. Next time, say this in this manner. And Lynette, I know, covered some of those scripts so that you can get a basic idea, put it in your words. What I will tell you is, when you start to invite people, do it from the most authentic place. If you're nervous, tell the person on the phone you're nervous. If you're scared, tell the person on the phone you're scared. If you don't know what they're going to say, tell them, hey, I don't know what you're going to say. Just verbalize what you're thinking. Okay? But in your heart, the reason their name's on a list and the reason you're inviting them is from a good place. It's not from a bad place. It's from a good place. And that's what they need to know, that you're inviting because you know this is good for them. Important that if you're going to help your people launch, you do it together. There's power in we doing this, not you go do this. You go call. No, we need to call 5 people. Now, I said you're going to get voicemail, so you may want to text them. Text them and say, hey, how's it going? Or do you have a couple minutes? Something. You just send them a text that's going to prompt them to answer you. Okay, it can be, we were joking this week, Lynette and I debated a little bit. If I send someone a text, which I don't do a lot, and just say, hey, what's up? What's going on? And they respond, guess what I know? Their phone is in their hand. Okay, and then I can promptly send another message that just simply says, you will not believe what I just heard. When do you have a few minutes to talk? Or can you talk now? And wait for the response. I just don't want to leave voice messages, guys. That's all. I don't want to leave voice messages. And so the point is, if you're getting voice messages, you might want to use text messaging to get them to hold their phone and answer you, hey, I can take a call, or when can you take a call, okay? Do the calls, 5 calls with your new people. If you've not done that with some of your personal enrollments, it might be why they haven't engaged in the business. Maybe they did call a few people. It didn't maybe go the way they thought it should go, and they're resisting now. They're resisting the process. And so I would encourage you to do that. So get that checklist. There's a number of other things in here that's super important for you to connect to the team. Step 2 is getting paid. So there's some things in there that you need to know in order to get paid. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in just one second. But it's on trueblue.org. It is part of, we basically have 2 systems, guys. We have a system to get someone to say yes, to get the ID number. And that is the system Lynette talked about, Invite Tool Team. And we're using crazyyellowpill.com as the tool. That's the system to get people in, ITT. We have another system to train people how to do this business, That is found at teamtrueblue.org. teamtrueblue.org, and it starts with this checklist. So make sure you get that, okay? So now that you have that understanding, I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to show you some basics for what you need to do to earn some money. And I'm sure all of you are excited about that. So let me share my screen. Let's pull this up, and I thought I would have had this already. Let me, should have had it up, but I don't. We'll go to, one second, I'll find it. Should have had it here. I think I'm in the right spot. The one beautiful thing about doing these virtual trainings is it's absolutely live. So let me go in here, and I'll find it in my PowerPoints here. Find the Map to Pro 3. There it is. You would find it sooner or later. There it is. Let me go full screen with it. Let me back up a little bit. So there we are. Okay, sharing screen. Sorry about that delay. Should have had that up. We're juggling a few things with our training here. So the Map to Pro 3, how to earn about $7,000 this year. It's a little less than $600 a month. I know that sounds amazing. And this is where it starts, guys. I cannot tell you how many distributors do not have 200 PV, personal volume. It's mind-blowing to me when these products are so amazing. Between you and your immediate family, if you truly believe in the products and their value, you should be able to have 200 PV pretty quickly. If you don't have 200 PV, it should be your only focus before you get to step 2, okay? Because having 200 PV helps you maximize the compensation plan. Less than that is, going to cut back on the amount of money you earn. Anything less than 100, you get no commission, okay? So your PV is the products you personally consume, and it's the products consumed or purchased by your customers, the customers you sign up. I cannot tell you the significance of having 200 PV and teaching that your personal enrollments have 200 PV. I mean, who wants a paycheck full of holes, okay? We're going to talk about holes in a second. So I'm just going to skip through some of these steps because I want to get to this page and just kind of spend some time with you right here explaining exactly the math so that you understand how to earn money. Now, Lynette likes for me, and there's wisdom in telling you these are minimums, the suggestions in 3, okay? So we teach to build 3 legs wide, all right, to get to Pro 3. Well, that's a minimum. It's not a maximum. So a minimum of 3 legs we want you to build to get to Pro 3. Okay, so in this example, this is using the unilevel. We're not talking about Smart Start bonuses. We know that if you sign up a platinum pack and you're fully commissionable, you're going to earn $400. We know the math there, right? That's not what this bonus is. This is the residual piece. This is the piece why we're here. We're here for money to come in our mailbox when we're not working, right? We're here for money to come in our mailbox or our bank accounts when we can't work. And so by having 3 people that you personally enroll, helping them, because you already have 200 PV, helping them get 200 PV, right? How do you do that? You help them to understand the significance of the product, okay? Get them on some webinars. Get their questions answered. Show them the other products besides Protandim. Show them the skincare. Show them Physique. Show them Axio. Let them taste it. Let them try it, okay? And they'll fall in love with it. And then expose the products or invite their network to these products, and they're going to get customers, right? So help 3 people, the 3 people you sign up, that's a minimum, get 200 PV, that's 600 OV, that's organizational volume. You get paid 2% on that level, and that's a whopping $12, okay? Nobody signed up to do this for $12. Lynette talked about the compound effect. Lynette already covered this in her portion of the training. That would not have excited Lynette and I, nor does it probably excite you. I think she talked about Starbucks. And yeah, and you take a couple kids to Starbucks, it's more than $12. We call it $5 for one person. I think it's more than that now. Here's the point. Let's duplicate that. You know, I talk about the French fries a lot at McDonald's, all right? No, I don't eat there all the time, but I have, and so have you. You've eaten there. It's all good. Listen, the French fries in Boston at McDonald's and the French fries in Dallas at McDonald's and the French fries in Miami and Tampa at McDonald's, they all taste the same. They all taste the same, okay? Same product, same temperature grease. Probably the same grease for the most part. And it stays in the grease for the same amount of time at the same temperature, which yields the same results. That is why we use ITT. Anything out of that. What if some employee decides, you know what? I think we should cook them at 500 degrees. That's what I think. And McDonald's doesn't want that. How long do you think the French fries are going to taste the same? Not at all. Or I think they should cook 3 minutes longer. Not the same results, okay? It has to be the same to yield the same results. That's what we want as customers, consistency. We want the taste the same, all right? And so our system must be the same to yield the same results. And that's why we know that if you will follow a simple system, you can get the same results Lynette and I get. You don't have to be Lynette and I. You don't have to know us. You don't have to know our friends or say what we say. You just have to go through that process of inviting people to a tool, Crazy Yellow Pill, and then getting them to the team where we're doing the same things over and over. That is for sure going to yield the same results. You're going to get 3 enrollments. And then you teach those 3 people how to do the same thing. You will get 9, okay? But I want you to understand that I don't really want you to think you can check off step 1, like level 1 here, where you got 3, you see the 3 people. I don't want you to say, okay, I got my 3 people, I'm ready to go to step 2 where I get my 9, until those 3 people have 200 PV, okay? That you can enroll more people, but I want to be able to have you guys earning $588. I cannot guarantee you that if you're leaving holes in your compensation plan. If you got 2 people with 200 PV and 1 with 100, the results are going to change, okay? The only way we get the same results, same thing. So make sure you have a minimum. Now you could have, what if you have 10 enrollments, you've enrolled 10 people, and 7 of them don't have 200 PV? Well, if 3 of them do, and we duplicate those 3, you're going to get the same results. Actually, you'll make a little bit more because those people do count towards, you get my point though, okay? So let's make sure your 3 have 200 PV, and then we're going to help our 3 do the same thing, okay? We're going to show them how to do what we did. 9 will show up. Those 9 with 200 PV, there it is again. Now it's 1,800 organizational volume plus the 600. You're almost a Pro 2. You're really, really close. In fact, if you have 200 PV, you are a Pro 2. Right? And now you're going to make $90 plus the 12. That's $102. That's more than Starbucks. That's a nice dinner somewhere, right? Or it's part of the cell phone bill, or maybe it's all of the cell phone bill, right? The beauty is in that 3rd step. But I don't want you to say, okay, hey, I got my 12 distributors, right? I got 3 plus 9. I got 12 distributors in my group. I don't want you to say I'm ready to go to step 3 until you know they all have 200 PV, right? I just want you guys to commit to 3 people, duplicating 3 levels deep. If you do that, I know that the compensation plan is going to yield you $588, $7,000 a year, right? 3rd step is 27 people doing the same thing. You see the math. It adds all up. It's a total of 39 people in your group. They all have 200 PV. That is 7,800 points, all right? And that will yield you $588, which is a very, very nice chunk of money coming in. And oh, by the way, You don't have to enroll 3 new people every month. You don't have to go do the work again. That is the beauty. You did the work once. All you have to do is make sure at least 3 of them, at least 3 of the 5 or 3 of the 10 or 3 of however many people you enroll, at least 3 of them stick to the system. And if they do, it will duplicate out and you'll be able to earn this residual income, guys. People ask me all the time, you're going to get asked this. Well, how much money did you make in your first month? And my answer is, I don't know. And they're like, what do you mean you don't know how much money you made in your first month? I'm like, I don't know because I'm still making it almost 10 years later. You see, we enrolled people in our business almost 10 years ago, and they're still in the business. And they're still growing their business. And my income is still growing every month because their business is growing, okay? And so it's a powerful concept of doing the work once and getting paid over and over and over again. It is the system of residual income that made me fall in love with network marketing because I had reached a point where I was tired of trading time for money. Maybe you've reached that point as well. Let me come off the share screen here. Where is my little cursor? Let me exit this. Stop the share screen. We'll go back just here. Okay, so we've talked about the Map to Pro 3. By the way, the Map to Pro 3 you will find at teamtrueblue.org as well as the Map to Pro 5. And remember again, those are minimums. And if you'll just commit to those 3 levels, that you're going to bring in a minimum of 3 distributors, 200 PV, and you are gonna support, I was gonna say manage, but support your group so that they get 2 more levels. So you're just gonna be hyper-focused, right, on 3 levels. If you'll commit to that and you get your team to commit, you see then the people you bring in, they kick in and they do the next 3 levels and the next 3 and the next 3. And that's how you can have organizations 50, 60, 80 levels deep with very strong leadership and people earning money. By the way, in our company, when someone starts to earn $250 to $300, if someone earns that Map to Pro 3, if someone will do that Map to Pro 3, they stay in LifeVantage for 5 years at a minimum. 5 years, guys, they stay at LifeVantage. Here's what's going to happen in 5 years. They're going to fall in love with more products. They're going to tell more people about the products. Their health is going to improve. They are going to engage in personal development. They're going to become better people because when you surround yourself with better people, you become better. You are the sum of the 5 people you are around. The fastest way to make more money this year is to hang out with people who make more money than you. So if you want to make more money and you make the most money in your circle, guys, you're not going to make more money. You have to be around people that challenge you. You have to be around people that open your thoughts, right? Not control your thoughts, right? But provoke thought. That's what you have to do, all right? And so I'm getting alerts here. I'm trying to make sure you guys aren't seeing those alerts because it would be very distracting to you. But I hope you get the gist of what I'm saying, that when you are around LifeVantage for 5 years, when you're around a good environment of people, look at the people you're with right now. If you're in a room of people, you're with amazing people. There's probably business owners in the room. Maybe there's doctors in the room. There are single moms in the room that are getting this done despite their busy schedule. You are associating and locking arms with the type people that just get things done. And at some point in your life, those people are going to be very valuable to you versus the people that just watch things get done, okay? Some people, would rather, there's a show on TV called Empire. Some people would rather spend 30 minutes of their life watching Empire, and if they knew it only took 30 minutes a day to build an empire. That's what I'm talking about. Go hang out with those people, okay? Last thing I want to talk to you about is the call to action. It's something that is extremely important at all levels in our business, because without a call to action, it can leave people kind of not knowing what to do next, right? And so what I want you to do is really understand that in all phases of our business. Whenever there's a meeting, whenever there's a one-on-one, whenever there's a three-way call. So when you get them to the team, Lynette talked about ITT, invite, tool, team. When you get them to the team should be using a call to action, right? What's the call to action? Here's the call to action. When it's a presentation, like a PowerPoint presentation, a home meeting where they've got all the information, it's kind of been laid out for them, right? Here is what we should be doing to build momentum for you so that we can build out that map to Pro 3 by getting people to duplicate. Here's what you would want to do. You want them to understand, you want your guests to understand really how simple our business is. And for some, they don't believe how simple it is, but this is how simple it is, okay? Get an ID number. Here's my close, guys, okay? If what you've seen today or tonight, whenever the presentation is exciting enough that you think you're going to talk to someone, just one person. If you're going to talk to just one person, guys, side note, my wife talked to you about our enroller, Melissa Bruton. Guess who was her first phone call? Us, okay? Master Pro 10s in LifeVantage, all right? Her matching bonus, very sweet, from one phone call. You never know the power of one. If you haven't heard Melissa's training on the power of one, you should, because her story is absolutely amazing. If you are going to share this with one person, please have an ID number. All of you listening to my voice and all of the people you're going to tell can afford to get an ID number at LifeVantage. There is a kit or a pack available for all budgets, for real, okay? So here's my call to action. If you're going to share this with one person, don't leave this room without an ID number. Get an ID number so we can send you a check when the person you talk to wants to do this. Because if you don't have an ID number and they want the product, they want information, you're not going to get paid. Okay, so get an ID number if you think you're going to share it. And why would you, right? Secondly, don't leave this room tonight without the link to the video that we showed you. And that link is, of course, crazyyellowpill.com, right? So you tell them, don't leave the room tonight. If you're going to share this, make sure you get the link to the video we showed you tonight. And then I want you to show that link to as many people as you possibly can or want to over the next couple days or next couple hours. And I want you to get them back here to the next meeting, okay, in XYZ. So let me give you a real world example, because right now it's Saturday, right? So the first two steps don't change, right? Get your ID number, get the link. And then I would say, guys, here's what I want you to do. And I think Lynette did this. In fact, I'm sure she did. Get the link, share this link with as many people as you can today and Sunday and Monday. And Monday night, there's going to be a Zoom, and I'm going to get you the link to that Zoom. All of the people that you show this video to, for all of them, when they have questions, simply get them on the Zoom. Or if there's a home meeting, right? So now we're not talking about the Zoom. There's a home meeting. That's why it's very important that in your call to action, you know when the next meeting is. If there's home meetings going on every week, you need to know where those home meetings are going to be so that they get their ID number, they get their link, they show the video to people, they're excited about what they've seen, right? And when people have questions, say, oh, perfect, there's a meeting at so-and-so's place on Wednesday. Let's get there a little early. I'll introduce you to them, give them a little background information. When they're at that meeting, wherever that meeting is, the person that presents is going to do the same thing. They're going to say, guys, get an ID number. Here's the link. And come right back to this house 1 week from now, and we are going to present this information to the people that have some interest with you and help you build this business. Guys, that is how you build this business. Show the video. Let's not complicate it. Show the video, get people's questions answered. Let them decide. Show the video, get their questions answered. Let them decide if the time's right. The time was right for you. That's why you joined us. We don't know when the time is right for other people. We don't ever know. That's why we keep showing, guys, this to people. And when you find people that the timing's right, there was something in Lynette and I's gut that was saying, gee, we better look at this, okay? Fortunately, that gut feeling has led to a business that spans the globe, right? And how did we do it? We showed the video. We don't tell people we're Master Pro 10s. That would make people think, that we're special. We're not special, guys. What we are, listen, I tell people all the time, and I stole this from Roberti, all right, Jeff Roberti, who, if you don't know who he is, you might want to check him out as far as what he's accomplished. He's earned over $100 million in network marketing. And I felt the same way when he said it. I heard him say it. He said, listen, I'm an average guy with an above average desire. I'm an average guy with an above average desire. Guys, I'm high school educated, right? No college. If you know me well, I struggle in spelling because I hated reading, and there's some stuff there, and I'm terrible at spelling. And artificial intelligence has made it worse because things spell for me, and I'm even lazier now. I'm working on it. I'm not spending too much time on that. That's a whole nother deal on personal development. I strongly believe that you should not spend a lot of time on your weakness, because if you're really bad at something and you spend a lot of time trying to get good at that, you're only going to be average. I want you to know what you're good at and spend a lot of time on that, so you go from good to excellent to amazing. That's how you crush it in business. Your weaknesses, be aware of your weaknesses. Let's not be foolish, but let's concentrate on your strengths. Because listen, one of the beautiful things, this is totally side note, one of the beautiful things about this business is it allows you to be fully compensated for what you're really talented with in life. So many people are talented songwriters or talented in organizational skills, and they're doing things for money that are not using their talents. Guys, in our business, whatever your talents are will come out. You are able to be fully compensated with this compensation plan according to your talents and your desire. And that's why I love what this is. But you have to stick to the system. You have to commit to Invite Tool Team, and you have to have a team of people that are using call to actions to create momentum. If we don't lead people to the next step, they won't know what the next step is. And it's really that simple. That's why we do the webinars on Monday night, every Monday night, so that at least once a week, no matter where you are in the world, if you speak English, and our Spanish team does it and our Chinese team does it, they're on Tuesday night, but on Monday night, anywhere in the world where they speak English, they can watch this presentation. And we'll tell them, if you're interested, get an ID number, here's the link to the video, and show it to a bunch of people and bring them right back here next week, and we'll explain this to them. That's it. That's what we did. What did we do? We showed the video. We showed the video to a lot of people. Are you open to looking? Here's the video. Take a look. If so, let's get your questions answered. Be emotionally unattached, guys. So many people are emotionally attached to what their friends think, and your friends' opinions do not matter in this business, okay? So I'm glad you guys were able to join us today. I hope this information helped. In fact, I know it's helped if you will apply it into your business. Meet us back here. In 4 weeks, we will do another virtual workshop for all the amazing people that you enroll over the next couple weeks and that your team enrolls. Until then, my dog's going crazy back there. Until then, I'm Brandon, Team True Blue. Thank you for being on here. You guys have a great time together for those that have joined each other. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.